It's called Game, an autobiography, and it's written by the man himself, Grant Hill. Hello, everyone. This is Jabari Young, senior writer at Forbes, and in a minute, I'm going to talk to Grant Hill about his new book. We talk a little Art Basel. He takes me inside of the trade for DeJounte Murray, as Grant Hill is a co-owner of the Hawks, and a lot more business talk. Talking Grant Hill and his new autobiography right now. You got this new book, man, Game, an autobiography, your book, and true story. I'm at Barnes & Noble. I want to go buy the book, even though your people supposed to send it to me. I said, no, I want to go buy it. I want to support them too. They can't find the book. And the guy says, who wrote it again? I said, Grant Hill. Says, who's that? I'm like, are you serious? Grant Hill was like, oh, it was before my time. Instantly, I felt like, yo, I'm only 38. What was that? But they initially found the book, and and then it was sold out. So I didn't get the book yet, but I'm sure you lived the experience. So I'm glad I'm talking to you today, man. Tell me, what was the motivation to do this?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm sorry you didn't get the book, and sorry we didn't send you one. I have a ton of them here at the house that
they're sending, but you know, I believe it held up through mail, but it is coming now. It is coming. Okay, but I had a chance to check out some pages online, but you know, I didn't get a chance to read it fully though. But I'm looking forward to it.
Good. Well, yeah, you know, it's interesting. I think for me, what really kind of got me thinking about the idea of writing the book was, you know, the selection into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2018. And that's an important moment, a significant moment, a moment that's kind of a capstone on your career, but also a moment and a time, I think, to reflect, a time to sort of just take it all in, look back, be appreciative of, you know, of what I was able to accomplish, the ups and the downs. And so that was not something that I normally would do in the sense of looking back and reflecting, which is probably not necessarily good. But I was always driven to look forward and pursue and what's next, what challenge, what opportunity is in front of me. And so it was kind of neat to go through the exercise of unpacking things and reflecting, living in certain moments of my past. And it was good. Like it was therapeutic in some ways. It was actually insightful. I think I've told people, sort of having gone through it, like everyone should write their memoir, write a book at some point. Now, it might not get published, but it's not about that. It's about just the process, the exercise, the experience of doing it. And so for that, which was kind of surprising to me and unexpected. But yeah, I mean, that really, the Hall of Fame, that moment, that experience, that's what ultimately led to me deciding to go on this journey.
Yeah. If I Google my name, it says I'm a writer, right? I still haven't went down that road of figuring out how I got here, but that's what it says. But so one of the things I look for when I read any book, the first line, and you start the book off as, we were there for basketball and basketball only, right? During the process of writing that book, what made you start there?
You know, it's interesting. It's a great question, and I certainly, you know, as a writer, I think it was great that you caught on to that. You know, when I first submitted the first draft, if you will, you know, I kind of started more in chronological order. So I went back, you know, like as far back as I could remember, and you know, and kind of talked about maybe some of my insecurities, some of my flaws, some of the things that, you know, we all sort of struggle with. If we're being honest, we have that part of us, or that side of us. And so just sort of being very honest and very reflective, like at a very young age. And my editor basically said, look, he said, you know, you have to start here. You have to start at 5-star at the basketball camp. And that I'm sort of describing that scene of being at 5-star basketball camp, what that was like. But it already kind of defines who I am. I'm a top-rated recruit. I'm at this very competitive, high-level basketball camp, and I'm sort of describing the scene. And so you gotta get the reader in that first page, or, you know, on that first page, or in that first line. And so, you know, I think going back the second, third time and really trying to like hit it home. That, I wish I could take the credit for that, but the editor really had my editor had a great, great suggestion there. And I think it just really set the tone. It
Yeah.
set the tone right away. If you were that sales clerk at Barnes and Noble and had no idea who Grant Hill was, who I was, if you read that first page, I think it kind of just, okay, sets the stage for, for this journey that I take the reader on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and you say it. Listen, the editors are great. Okay, I have a great editors myself, and they always make you look great because I'm sure when you got that first draft back, it was filled with red marks like apostrophe hair stuff, the stuff that you go through because you're thinking in your mind, right? What was your favorite part about the process? Because sometimes you go on this journey, and I remember when I had to start at Forbes, I went back on a journey and thinking like, how did I get here? It was quick. But I start laughing when I start seeing some of the memories, the early articles that I was written. It's like, man, I forgot about this. Was there a moment where you even forgot about yourself and maybe the public didn't know that you just had to put it in this book? And what was that moment?
Well, first of all the markups by the editor, I was very accustomed to that as a student. So it brought back memories from my high school and college years. So, but no, I mean, I think, I think I learned, and I said earlier, like I learned about myself. And what I mean by that is that, I was so caught up in pursuing, so caught up in, you know, following my dream, even in high school, okay, looking ahead to what college could be, or in college, like just so goal oriented and driven. In the NBA, I'm chasing legends. I'm chasing legends, and maybe this is arrogant, but I'm consumed with my resume or my body of work, and I don't think I really allowed myself to enjoy the good moments, like really like just take in and particularly like in Detroit, those years early on, although we didn't win. I didn't give myself permission to kind of take it all in and say, wow, this is pretty amazing. Like I'm doing some incredible things. If I had an accomplishment or an achievement, it was like, okay, move on to the next. One thing I never did, and my wife would always laugh at me or scratch her head. I never, like in my home, display any of my trophies, any of the accomplishments, nothing. And I always felt that, doing that would make you soft, and you'd lose that hunger and lose that, so I always want to be, looking ahead. And so, but now reflecting on those moments, reflecting on the Duke years, reflecting on, my time in Detroit, and then also reflecting on the difficult moments, the struggle with the injuries and missing a good portion of 4 years, and how I probably suppressed a lot of that, and just to get through it. And then now, like I said, I'm unpacking it. So the highs and the lows and all that's in between, really having, giving myself a chance to really like look into that and unpack it. And what was I feeling? What were the lessons? What were the good moments? What were the things that maybe I never really fully addressed and dealt with? And so that part to me was fascinating. And I didn't realize that, I didn't realize that it would reveal to me as much as it did during the process.
Yeah, yeah. Is that the advice that you would give to young guys maybe nowadays, especially on the Atlanta Hawks, right? You're a co-owner of the Hawks. Enjoy the moment, maybe take the time, maybe don't fall in love with the moment because you don't want to get, Greg Popovich, when I was covering the Spurs, he always had that line, don't start smelling yourself, right? Even keep yourself humble, but still enjoy the moment while it's in progress.
Yeah, it's funny. Coach K, who had an incredible influence on me, and I get into our relationship and playing for him, and even some of the dicey moments. I thought it wasn't all rainbows and lollipops. As my daughter says. There were moments, but that any relationship with a player coach is going to be like that sometime. But I remember, and I talk about it in the book. He used to always say in the game, like, stay in the moment. Like next play. That was one of his mantras. And if something good or something bad happens, take inventory, learn from the mistake. If something great, share the emotion. Somebody does something great, celebrate, yell, scream, do whatever, but then move on to the next play. And so I think I incorporated the next play, but I didn't really incorporate like share the moment in the moment and or celebrate the moment in the moment. And so life is short. And when we have successes, it's important for us, I think, to appreciate those successes and celebrate them.
Yeah, absolutely. The book is out, man. You fast forward to today, right? Having walked down memory lane and went through that process, what motivates Grant Hill today?
I think today it's about living a life that has purpose and meaning. And you know, I think as an athlete, there's an old expression that athletes die twice, and certainly you put so much into perfecting your craft, you put so much into making it to the highest level, you put so much into staying there and maintaining and continuing on, and then once it's over, you have to find what that next purpose is or that next thing that gives you that you have passion for, and that's not always easy. And so I've been removed now. This will be 10 years removed from playing. And I like what I'm doing. I like that I'm working in sport. I like that I'm working in various leadership roles and responsibilities. And I'm not sort of focusing in on one thing, but doing a number of different things, serving on corporate boards, obviously running USA Basketball, ownership, television. I have a lot on my plate, and sometimes it can be tricky trying to balance it all. But these are things to me that are almost kind of mission driven. Things that I don't I just enjoy and I'm passionate to doing. And I think all of us, that's the goal.
Yeah.
Find what you love. Find what gets you up in the morning. Find there's a difference between what is it? There's a difference between a job, a career, and a calling. And when you find that calling, then it's pretty special. And I feel like I have multiple callings that I'm fortunate to be a part of.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, you said you're part of a lot of business going on. Some of that business we talked about in March 2022, but since that, switching the business, since that time, so much has changed in, the economic climate. Everything's still good, with the Hawks. I know you got some development down in Atlanta. Has anything shifted timeline-wise now that we're in this high inflation and heading into possible recession in 2023?
Yeah, no, we bought the Atlanta Hawks. Tony Ressler, our managing partner, founder, chairman, CEO of Ares Capital. We bought the Hawks in 2015, and the plan was always to redevelop downtown Atlanta. There's a place there, a piece of property right in front of our arena that's called the Gulch.
Yes.
Many have attempted to do that for over the years, but have not been successful. So we finally have gone through all the hurdles and obstacles. We've worked with the city, the state, all the necessary permits, and so we had a shovel in the ground ceremony maybe about a month ago in Atlanta, breaking ground. We're pouring about $5 billion into downtown Atlanta. We'll have multifamily. We'll have experiential retail. We're going to put in over 1,000 hotel rooms. So it's going to be something that's transformational for downtown Atlanta. And we know a lot is going on in Atlanta, and certainly Atlanta has grown over the last 20, 30 years. But there's been a bit of a void in terms of downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have a tremendous opportunity here. CIM, they are the master developer, if you will, in this project. I've poured a lot of money into this, as have other partners of mine with the Hawks. So it's something that we're really excited about. It's almost additive in some ways to enhancing the experience for our customers at Hawks games. But it also, I think, plays a role in just continuing to try to make Atlanta the incredible international cosmopolitan city that it is. And so we're excited, and that's fun. And that, along with the Hawks, and continuing to pursue a championship, and it's not easy.
No.
But no, it's that part of my life has been something that I've enjoyed, and look forward to continuing on.
Yeah. So nothing impacting as far as the timeline on things because of recession fears, anything like that. Obviously, nothing. Everything is still rolling along according to plan.
I mean, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, yeah, I mean, every industry with regards to the impending or recession, the fear of a recession, obviously. Cost of goods. You have the war going on with Russia and Ukraine, the impact that has globally, obviously inflation. So I think every industry in some form or fashion is impacted by it, but also consumers. Consumers are impacted now. Prices have gone up. And so sometimes that's reflected in the cost of construction, the cost of materials. And so, you have to be nimble. You have to be able to adapt and adjust. And that's just not just with the Hawks and our business and with the development, but with other. I'm on the board of Campbell's Soup. And, that's an industry that, consumer packaged goods. We're navigating, we're blocking and tackling, we're being innovative, but we're doing what we can to continue moving forward and continue to provide for our customers.
Yeah. Sports, though, is bulletproof in a way when it comes down to, recession fears or even downturns in an economy because it's still a form of entertainment. And on that level, again, you co-owner the Hawks, but I want you to take me back, right fast, inside that trade to get DeJounte Murray. Who convinced the ownership group that this needed to happen? Because you gave up quite a lot. I covered DeJounte in San Antonio, a phenomenal player, definitely a guy coming up. I love the hustle. I love his backstory. But why do that deal? And who talked you and Tony into pulling that trip? Was it Travis?
That's a good question. I can't remember exactly the sequence of events. And look, there's always sort of internal debate about what to give up, and is it too much, too little? So you can debate that until the moon comes up. But I think there was a feeling that we needed another guy who can go get a basket, another guy who can take some of the load off of Trey, another guy who can complement Trae Young, another guy when Trae goes to the bench, there's not this significant drop off like there had been in years before. DeJounte was a guy who, I think in terms of San Antonio, he had a great year last year, great numbers, does a little bit of everything, fills up the stat sheet, can facilitate, plays defense, can really, can score, athletic. Was really growing. And so the idea of putting him in our system, letting him get up and down the court, and then, complimenting Trae, the two of them, same agents, the same agent, friends, there's a mutual respect. You got to have multiple options in terms of, guys that can go get it done if you want to win, if you want to win a championship. So, we're not there yet in terms of being a real contender, but I think we got better, and he's another piece that can be a part of the equation. So now in terms of who said what, I mean, I think there were obviously discussions, as there always are.
But you guys ownership group, right? You and Tony make the final decision, right? Y'all got to check it off. So when y'all was it you looked at Tony and Tony said, well, Grant, it's your call? Like who had the final check?
So let me be clear. I have a loud voice, but Tony Ressler has the final say. Mm-hmm. And but I do think that there was great alignment in terms of the need for another guy and the desire to bring DeJounte in. There was no convincing anyone. When the opportunity was there, I think we all felt that we have to pursue this. Maybe there was some internal debate about what to give up and this, that, and the other. But everyone felt this kid can make us a better ball player, a better ball club. And I feel like he has. I feel like he's come in and done very well. And and he and Trey have been able to coexist out there on the floor together.
Yeah. Have you been able to, go in right across the street, observe OTE at all? I mean, have you gone into those headquarters? That's right across the street. And OTE overtime, the league that pays high schools $100,000 to go play, but that's right in Atlanta. Have you guys been over there, scouted, and if so, what do you think?
I'm familiar with it, but I can't speak on it with absolute certainty. But it's interesting. I mean, we're at a moment in time. There's a little bit of a disruption happening in terms of the status quo. You see it in college sports. You see now NIL. You see players now being able to, go into the transfer portal and not have the restrictions in terms of having to stay in certain locations. You see it with the OTE model. So there's a lot of change that's happening right now. And I think in the process, it can get a little choppy, and there's a lot of uncertainty. But I think it'll ultimately level out and it'll become something that is customary. It'll be something that we all understand and are comfortable with. But, sometimes when you make change, it can be a little bumpy. And I think overall, high school sports, grassroots sports, intercollegiate athletics, it's kind of going through that that transitional moment right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, man, get you out of here in a few. One thing, I know you're a fan of hard assets, right? And so I have to ask you, did you make your way down to Miami over the last week to see Art Basel? I mean, did you go down there at all?
No, I did.
Wow. You being a fan of art, you said no?
No, I didn't. I had two board. I had a Campbell Soup board meeting, and then I'm on the Duke University trustee board. So we had last week was 5 days of board meetings, and so which was good, which I enjoy, and opportunity to learn, opportunity to sort of collectively, provide oversight and strategy to management. And but yeah, it conflicts with Basel, so I missed out.
Yeah, listen, board meetings are fun, but I would imagine Art Basel is much fun. My producer Travis, he's sitting here, he was telling me he went down there, he got a little tan. Like, I was mad I didn't go. I thought you went, but now I'm not, because I know if you didn't go, I didn't miss anything. But next year we got to go.
I've never been.
You've never been. I haven't either.
And here's the thing.
Let's do that together. Let's do a Forbes move, a little doc of Grant Hill going to buy art down to Art Basel.
Do that. What's interesting though, I always felt that and this is wrong, and I was in a discussion with an art dealer about this maybe a month ago, but I always felt that it was just an excuse to party, to hang out and have, which is nothing wrong with that.
No.
But I always question, like, does art really, like, are there transactions that occur at Basel, or is it just to go down there and hang out and have fun? And I learned something. I mean, believe it or not. I mean, I'm aware of Basel. I know it, but no, there's some serious work. And I had work, before things were made public. I had sort of access to certain pieces of art by certain dealers and galleries.
I know you're a fan of black art, man. That's your thing. That's why I thought you would be down there. But we have to go next year.
Yeah, well, maybe next year.
Yeah, we got to go next year. Hey, look, man. Final thing, I get you out of here. Favorite Christmas gift? What's the favorite your most memorable Christmas gift you've ever given? And also, right, and I promise you she won't see it, maybe, what are you going to get your wife?
So my favorite gift that I've given?
That you've ever gotten, received.
Oh, ever received. Yeah, man, when I was little, I got the green machine, big wheel. And man, I don't think I've ever been as happy. I wanted it, and my parents said they would never get it for me.
Yeah.
And they ended up getting it. So the bar has been pretty high since then. I don't think it's been matched, but obviously as a kid. And then, I haven't bought anything yet, and for anybody. Mm-hmm. So thanks for the reminder.
Absolutely, man. You're getting low on time, man. It's almost 2 weeks.
I'm kind of last minute, man. I like to do my best shopping like the week before.
Yeah, but supply chain, man, you better get in now because it could be gone.
That's true. That's true. But no, I always come through in the clutch. So it's I'm a good Santa. A good Santa.
Yeah. So. Hey man, listen, Grant Hill, game and the autobiography. I'm looking forward to continuing the book from the first sentence all the way into the last. I'm looking forward to it, man. But have a happy holiday. Thank you so much. Twice in 1 year, man. This is my gift, and I appreciate the conversation always.
Hey man, my gift too. I appreciate you. We'll do Basel together next year.
Have a good one, man.
Be
Take
good.
care.
Happy holidays.